Okay, this is where we live now, in the concrete city, right? Where it's very hot. And as I already told you, the Kampong people, they had a cool environment. They didn't have electricity, so they built things so that we didn't need electricity. But actually, to tell you a little bit more about myself, as an introduction, I'm actually a real Kampong boy. You know, Matt, Vlad, Matsale, Matthias is my name. I come from a real Kampong, and if you don't believe me, this is my Kampong in Germany.
Wow.
This is just 10 meters behind the house where I used to live for 20 years. Cows, and we have loads of forest as well. One of these two guys is my cousin, one is me. Let's make a quiz question. Who is me? Okay, who thinks this is me? That's me? Okay. Who thinks the taller guy is me? Yeah? Actually, only 10 people raised their hands. All the others are kind of, you know, don't want to make a judgment. Actually, this guy is my cousin, 2 years older than me. He still lives here in the house where he grew up. I don't think he's ever been outside of Germany in his life. Still single and available. He's got a beer belly and he doesn't speak any English. So, but he's still in the Kampong. And this was when I used to have full nice blonde hair. Those days have gone, but okay lah, that's life, right? So, this is where I grew up. I grew up with the environment around me, and I really enjoyed that. And this was winter. This is actually just on the other side of a small stream here. Here was my house. This is the neighbor house, and we loved to play in the snow in the winter. And nowadays, you know, I travel around the world as the green man, do talks on hijau. That was in 2008 after I won this Greenest Person on the Planet award. Then I like to inspire people to go green in many different places. This is one of the latest things I got involved in, a new NGO that wants to preserve the rainforest in Malaysia. And our patron is the Sultana of Pahang, and our president is Tunku Kaisha. We're trying to preserve more and more of Malaysia's rainforest. This is my beloved hybrid bike, but I have to update that with the picture from Saturday, where I'm sitting on the back seat and Deborah Henry on the front seat. That's much more exciting. And the latest thing I got involved in, which is my favorite job, is to be a coach and judge at the Miss Malaysia Eco Model Eco Ambassador competition. So these were last year's contestants. So all sorts of interesting things when you go hijau all the way. But back to the real hijau stuff. Are you still connected to Mother Nature? Are you still in touch with Mother Nature? One of the amazing things that I've experienced in Malaysia is, I asked last year when I was running a workshop, when were you last time in the rainforest to enjoy the rainforest? My friend Edwin, he is the marketing manager at the Impiana Hotel next to KLCC. He said to me, hey Matthias, what do you expect? I'm a KLCC boy. I've never been in the rainforest. I was kind of a little bit shocked. Are you still connected to the beauty of Mother Nature? Malaysia's biodiversity. It's amazing. One of the best in the world. The hornbill. Beautiful colors. The next one is a monkey that I discovered in Kuala Selangor with a David Beckham haircut. You remember when he had this in the middle? Yeah. So you can discover all sorts of amazing things. And I sometimes ask myself that question. That is actually why I'm out here fighting for the preservation of the environment and us becoming more eco-efficient, because I appreciate the wonderful creation that we've got out there. We were lucky we had a white Christmas, because my village is 550 meters above sea level. So it gets quite cold. It can even be -10, -15. So you really have to be well wrapped up, otherwise you're going to be freezing. And this was 38 years ago, when I was living in my little village. This is the current generation. Actually, this is my brother's son and his neighbor. This was one morning after loads of snow. We were always hoping in those days that we didn't have to go to school because too much snow. The bus couldn't come anymore because it wasn't going to get stuck in the snow. And he's got much better skiing equipment here than me. And he's actually a better skier. But they've got one big problem. The snow comes and goes. When I was a kid, every year, 3 months, reliably, if there was more stuff coming, it was more snow. Once the snow started. Last year, December was extremely cold, loads of snow, January, February, March, gone. I can see in my village, within 1 generation, the climate has completely changed. What has been there for the last couple of hundred or thousands of years in terms of a reliable weather pattern is gone. Malaysia is close to the equator. Temperature fluctuation is not so big. But ask the people in the plantation industry. They used to plant the rubber trees in Malaysia according to the seasons. The seasons are not clear anymore in Malaysia. The people who plant in the plantation industry don't plant according to the seasons anymore. They used to have this special boat race in Terengganu, I think always on the 24th of April. Lowest tide in the year. No more. No more reliable, no more predictable. Even here in Malaysia, things have changed within 1 generation. One of my friends comes from Kuching. I asked him, what has changed in your local environment? He told me when he was a youngster, he didn't really use air conditioning at home. And he had a local river, he threw the net in there, he used to get loads of fishes. Nowadays, he throws the net in there, he told me, he gets plastic bottles. That's the reality of how we, the humans, have changed the environment out there. Something is going on. Something is happening. Ice is shrinking. No surprise. This is the reflection of us humans and our action on this planet. Population goes exponentially. You can actually look at this. 1750 was kind of when the Industrial Revolution started, when we humans started to conquer the planet. So we had explosion of population growth, GDP, foreign investment, urban population, paper consumption, McDonald's restaurants, damming of rivers, water use, fertilizer consumption, motor vehicles, telephones, international tourism, CO2 concentration, CH methane concentration, fisheries fully exploited, gone up exponentially. Here, the loss of terrestrial ecosystems. We are losing more and more of our ecosystems. Great floods have gone up. Ozone depletion. Global biodiversity. We are extinguishing biodiversity. That is the reality on the planet. I'm sometimes wondering how would it look like if we would be the little green man on the moon, watching what goes on the planet since the Industrial Revolution here, 1750. Before we had 14 Celsius, which gave the human species 10,000 years of balanced, sustained life on the Earth. Actually, the planet is not at stake, in my opinion. It's the human species that's at stake. Maybe 1 million years ago, Malaysia was covered by ice or by water. But the last 10,000 years, we've had this balanced climate. That has enabled us to actually develop countries as we have done it now. Now we're in the process of putting that out of sync. If we have 4 meter, 5 meter higher sea levels, planet no problem. Our buildings, our assets that reflect the wealth of human civilization, that will be at stake. And your children will be at stake.